Hey everybody, on this episode of the MasterChef After Show, we're going to be breaking down Season 9, Episode 10, Rise or Fall. Our home chefs are paired up this evening, but how does it go for them? We're going to find out with our very special guest next.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Oh, yes!
Music selection this evening
right.
Brought to you by...
Nirvana and me. Look at that. Keeping
You
it tight
own it.
right
You
here.
own it,
I
Frank.
will own it. There you go, reaching back. It's hard to find a song about cheese, everybody.
That's harder than you think.
Young musicians, please do everybody a favor and write a song about cheese.
I'd eat it. I mean, listen
That's
to
right.
it.
Welcome everybody to the MasterChef After Show. We're breaking down every episode of MasterChef, airing Wednesday nights on Fox. I'm one of your hosts, Frank Moran.
And I am the other host, Ashley Chaney. Hi, everybody. Great to have you here tonight.
That's right. And of course, the man, the myth, the legend, who we couldn't do the show without, but we're going to do it tonight anyway. Len Gonzalez is away on assignment, but you can always find him on social media, and we'll tell you where at the end of the show. But speaking about getting in touch with us, you know what you can do? You can like us on Facebook, give us those 5 stars on iTunes, subscribe to the YouTube channel, give it a thumbs up, and everybody feel free to hop in the chat. And you're going to want to, because we've got a very special guest this evening. So you're going to want to, if you want to ask any questions, well, feel free to put those in the chat and we'll ask them of her. But our guest tonight is currently competing on this season's episode of MasterChef. And we've got some questions for her about breaking down a chicken. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ashley Mincey. Ashley, how are you?
Hey, everybody.
How's it going?
It is going great.
Oh, fantastic. Now, Ashley, where are you speaking to us from?
I am calling in from Miami 305.
Miami.
Very nice.
We spoke with Shanika. She's in Miami, too, no? Do you guys ever hang?
Yes, 305. You know, we have not yet.
Oh.
But, you know, 305, we are connected through and through. So
There's no bad blood there, right? Between you and Shanika? You guys are...
no bad blood.
Okay,
That's
cool.
wonderful.
Well, when it comes to something like that, hanging out with other contestants that might live near you, do they want you, does the network want you to do that until after the season's aired?
Yeah, you know, we have to go through the whole process of making sure everything in the season has been, you know, accomplished and shown. And, you know, we kind of just tread lightly with everything that happens outside of the show. So, yeah, no. But you can see that she was encouraging me, and I know we'll dive into that.
Yes.
So, that's my 305 fam.
Yeah.
You know, Ashley, I've got one quick question because neither Ashley or myself have ever competed on a reality competition show before.
That you know of.
That I know of. But what is it like for you when you get done filming it and you come home and friends and family have a bazillion questions about where you were, what you were doing, how you did? How do you handle it? Is it easy? Does it get frustrating?
It is honestly a mix of both. Some people think that I am still in production, I would say. Some think, you know, that I am in another country, and then they'll see me and be like, what you doing here? And I'm like, enjoying life.
Hey. Yeah. It's so scary, that part. Frank and I have both worked on different TV shows or movies or whatever, and it's sort of a similar thing where it's like the hush gag, like you're not allowed to say a thing. So I'm really good at saying, I can't tell you that. If I touch it, I'd have to kill you.
It gets tricky.
So
it gets
stop
tricky
asking
because
me.
you got to like keep up with what you say to people.
And it's weird because people, when they see you on TV, they just assume, oh, well, you are where TV is made.
Yes.
What are you doing right here at my front door?
You live in the
Yes.
TV.
And we just had our family reunion, so it was like,
Oh, God,
everyone was like, had mad questions. It was like 21 questions for 3 days.
Did you cook anything at your family reunion?
I did. I threw down on, I had to clean, prep, and season
Oh, Lord.
21 racks of St. Louis ribs.
Ooh, it sounds delicious.
Yeah.
Were they well received?
They were, and they actually didn't know because my uncles and my dad were the ones like directly on the grill because I wasn't waking up at 6 o'clock in the morning. And they were like, "Oh, these ribs are so good. Oh, Uncle Lonnie did the thing," and I was like, "Oh, no."
Actually, oh, good for you. 21 racks, that's heavy. That's a lot of ribs.
Holy cow.
It was like a 7-hour job, but like anything for them. So it was like awesome. It was really awesome because I love being like a woman griller, just knowing how to handle protein like that, which I know we'll get into in a little bit, but yeah.
Well, speaking of getting into it, let's just jump all the way back to the beginning because when you go originally on MasterChef, you go to compete and one of the judges is going to possibly select you for their team and you get chosen by Gordon Ramsay.
Yes, he is the man. I had my eyes set on him from the very beginning. I've just watched his career from his early shows to yelling at people and everything. And I still like always admired him, especially from the part of Miami that I'm from, and which is Opelika. And I was like, he's the one. He's the one. He's literally everything that I want to be, when I grow up. I just knew I had to get my apron from him, and thank the Lord that I did. I was, did my thing to impress him enough to get his apron. So, yes.
Now, I don't know if you can answer this or not, but in terms of, because the idea is that Joe, Aaron, and Gordon have all picked these people that they think have what it takes to become the next Master Chef.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But it seems like in the idea, like they're going to be kind of mentoring you a little bit along the way, but we never really get a chance to see any of that.
Yeah.
Is there mentoring going on for you folks?
There is mentoring, and it's just like, I feel like that's one of the most popular threads that I see. Like, oh, I don't see any mentoring, whatever. And it is happening. And I'm like frustrated that, everyone doesn't get to see it because that's my one-on-one time with my mentor. Of course, I would love to like brag more about that. But no, we do get mentored, and which is why he was like super pissed at what we were doing last night, because he really is invested in us. Gordon, he's really invested in us and what we do and our success on the show. So, Lord, that was not the business.
So for the mentoring for you, is it one-on-one and the two of you are making a dish together, or he's just with you while you're making a dish and giving you feedback? Or what's the mentoring situation like?
It's definitely more feedback style. I would say it's not one-on-one right now. What are we like last night we were top 15. So it's still like a pretty big group. But we do get to have feedback on our dishes from our mentors. And I know that all that is shown is like they eat the food, but they really do give us positive and of course, some constructive criticism when we need to level up our game.
So is it, because I know usually you'll bring them up either whether it's the first round and you're just bringing up the top 3 dishes, or at the end for the the elimination part where they'll taste everybody's dish. Are they giving you all that mentor feedback at that point, or it's kind of like once you've wrapped up the day, then they're taking you aside as the team and saying, "Here's what I think about everything that you did today"?
No, while we're actually cooking, there's so much that isn't shown, of course. There's just not enough TV time for all of that. But while we're cooking, they really do come down and talk with us and taste our food while we're cooking. And there's been some time, I think, they like messed around with Chef Aaron. Give me an S, give me an A, give me an L, give me a T. And Gordon is really known for, having you be a little cheerleader to add some salt to your plate.
That's fun. So this is a question that I have and I think I've asked it of every candidate or of every chef so far, which is how do they, like for a souffle, for example, we know how important it is to taste something the moment that it comes out to even present it. How are they handling the judging of these dishes so that they're all hot when they eat it? Because like if you're the last person getting judged, your dish is going to be cold, your souffle is going to fall. How do they handle that?
Yeah, with the souffle, I got that question a lot. Like, is it really that hot? Like, is it really steaming? And it's just, yes, the souffle is definitely that's just the nature of the beast. You know, it has to be cooked and then presented, taken a la minute, you know, just right then and there. All of the other food, you know, it definitely is tricky because there's a lot of us and we have to keep it moving, go fast, as fast as possible. But, you know, it is physics and chemistry. I'm not here to BS anybody.
So sometimes there's might be some like
reset. Has their dish tasted, and the last person has their dish tasted. Has time passed? Of course. Has heat transferred? Of course. Not to get all scientific, but yes.
Yeah.
You know, they do the best.
Well, Ashley, I'm sure before you signed up for MasterChef, you've probably watched many food competition shows before, correct?
Yes, of course.
So what's it like to just be a fan, like a lot of us are, just watching it at home, having your opinions on how they're cooking, but then what's it like for you to actually be in it and just the actual production of it? Is it just a eye-opening experience?
I gotta sip my tea real quick.
And I want to know too, while you're thinking on your tea, like as part of this experience, do they put makeup on you guys for every episode? Like, do you get glammed? Is there glam squad happening?
We have to do our own makeup. We have to do our own hair and everything like that. So, you know, don't think you're trying to apply and you're going to be America's Next Top Model. Like, you need to come prepared to work and focus on cooking. So you're doing your thing. They're not going to let you look crazy on camera now, but we're doing a lot ourselves. Yeah.
Okay. So that kind of plays into Frank's question though, which is like, what's the whole experience like as someone who may be new to Hollywood or even just a former fan of food cooking shows?
Ooh, that one, you know, I would just say if you have the chutzpah.
You got to say, you got to get a little more spit in that, the chutzpah.
The chutzpah. We'll do some practice later. To like, audition and try out, go for it. You know what I mean? And even if you don't think you do, just still go for it. I feel like I was always the person, straight up, I was the person, man, like, oh, I would have done this. You know, oh man, why didn't they do this? Why didn't they? And it's just, there's so many layers and steps to it. It's just not that simple, y'all. It's not that simple, which is why it's like big ups to everyone doing it, all the competitors, no matter, you know, the drama that's on TV that is shown, et cetera. Like, we all are in the trenches together, okay? And there are still gonna be people like, ooh, she shouldn't have did that, or he should have, you know, but you just don't know until you are in it. So big ups to all of my MC fam.
Well, I want to ask a quick question just about your background, Ashley, because we've been talking about you a lot in all of our after shows leading up to this one. And I always, when I think of you, I associate you with baking, because that was the very first thing you ever did on MasterChef. And I always, you've just nailed every dish that has any kind of baking component. So do you consider yourself a baker, or do you consider yourself a cook? Like, what's your strength?
No, I actually have spent the last 6 years focusing on savory. But I would say that I started out baking like with my grandmother, so it became very much a therapy for me. She had her own bakery and restaurant, so did my grandfather. They did it together. So I started with baking because, you know, grandma allowed me to be in the kitchen with her. But especially the last 3 years, heavy has been more focused on savory cooking. And I mean, it's so funny that it comes off that way. But I won the first challenge and it was savory. So it's just, you know, hey, I will bring it with the savory.
You can do it all, savory and sweet.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely more savory, I would say. But, you know, anyone looking for some sweets, I will take your business.
Well, before we dive into last night's episode, I want to jump back a couple weeks for the wedding episode.
Oh, yeah.
Where I know that Gordon was giving you a little criticism for feeling like you were checking out at that. What is it like working in a situation like that? Because I feel like it's a competition, so you've got to bring your A game, but you're also human, and there's just going to be those days where you're not at 100%. You might be at, 95, 80%, whatever it might vary, but you still got to perform. What's it like when Gordon was coming for you? Did you feel like I'm stuck in a hole and I can't quite climb out?
I mean, in that moment, that's what it felt like. I was stuck in a hole. Not that I can't climb out of it, because actually, no, that's BS. I did. In that moment, it definitely was. I'm stuck in a hole, and I feel like I can't get out of it because I've never cooked for this many people before. I think it's this many people and this limited amount of time, more so. And it's just, Gordon's in your face. He's my mentor. I don't want to disappoint him. And I feel like we had been banging it out for the whole appetizer round. Shanika and I were working together really well, and then here comes this damn sauce, and I don't make enough of it. And I think the funniest comment was my dad. He was like, "You just knew that ass whooping was coming." And I think that's literally what happened. I'm stirring the sauce, and I'm like, oh, it was after I strained it. I was like, oh my God, I don't have enough. And then he called me out on it.
Nothing gets past him. I mean, if you thought he was gonna not call you out, girl, you're on the wrong show.
That's right. So last night's episode, it all starts off where Joe says, "Hey, guess what, everybody? Pick a teammate. It's going to be a team challenge for this."
Yeah.
What made you decide? Hey, I want to hook up with Taylor. I want to.
No. Let's fix that.
All right.
So Taylor picked moi.
Ah, all right.
No, Taylor picked me. No shade. Taylor picked me, and I was cool with it.
Okay. Our host who's not here tonight, Mr. Lem Gonzalez, has the big time hots for Taylor. So
I know. I wanted to get on him about his little showman's crush, because I'm just like, we need to talk to little Tay-Tay. Okay, you need to call her up, call up your boo, so we can have a little conversation, a little just, let's regroup.
A little come to Jesus, as we call it.
A little come to Jesus moment.
So the idea is that you, as a team, are going to prepare this dish with chicken as the protein. Yeah. With they've got polenta, they got carrots.
Seemingly like all normal ingredients, nothing crazy or not seemingly, all normal, kind of readily accessible, as Chef Ramsay said, ingredients for the average American cook, easy to find. Like I'm like, oh yeah, I could make some shit with that. I don't know.
And Ashley, do you feel when you presented that like, hey, this is going to be an easy challenge, or do you feel like, no challenge is ever easy when you're put in this situation?
No, I mean, honestly, they're humble ingredients. Everyone has access to them. I grocery shop for them regularly for clients. Like, it's just, regardless of that, like, we all have them in our fridge, period. I thought we would do well. I thought we would do well. And it didn't work out that way. I think we were just like on two different planets with our ideas. And
well, I guess that's a challenge when you're deciding to form a team with somebody. If you guys are synced up, it's going to be awesome. But if you are on different planes, it's going to be difficult for you to successfully execute a dish.
It is. And I feel like with humble ingredients like that, you can also be overwhelmed with too many ideas. But at the same time, I'm with a partner who wants to make fried chicken and rice, and I'm not trying to make fried chicken and rice. I was trying to elevate what we had in front of us, and, that's what I'm saying. We got to get Lim in here so we can talk to her. We need to talk to her.
But I have to admit, I was much like the guys that tried to make fried chicken and didn't realize.
I didn't know you had to grind up that cornmeal.
I would have probably done the same thing with that cornmeal.
In fact, I was like, crunchy cornmeal.
That was a big lesson learned, because and that's one of those things where it's like, oh, you would have been yelling at the TV. Normally, I would have been yelling at the TV, right? But when you're in it, you're also not so much thinking about, there's fine ground cornmeal, there's coarse ground cornmeal, there's medium ground cornmeal. Like, you're not thinking about that. So you're just using what is put in front of you. Sure. And that, was a detriment to a lot of us last night. So Taylor wasn't thinking about it. I wasn't thinking about it. Ryan, Jerron. It's just, you're in it and you're moving, and it is not, I swear to God, it is nonstop in that kitchen.
So once they say go, they're not stopping down. The cameras aren't saying, Ashley, Taylor, we're going to need to reset because we need to get it from this angle. It is 45 minutes. We're not stopping until you're done.
45 minutes, go. I don't care if you slip and fall. Like, get up and get it together. It's nonstop. There is no fixing the plate after time is called. I've seen that too. And I was like, I wish.
So
because our dish needed help, honey.
I did. How much of that 45 minutes did you guys budget to actually plan what you were going to make?
Oh, I would say probably the first 3 to 4 minutes, but at the same time, we're like starting to get pots and pans heated and we're still collaborating and talking. I feel like after the first 10 to 12 minutes of collaborating, our energies just dropped. Oh, excuse me. And we just were not, we weren't connected. We were not connected whatsoever. And our dish, suffered from that.
Well, all right, let's go. I know you mentioned that earlier that it was coming. Mm-hmm. That is breaking down that chicken. When Gordon holds up that chicken, what's going through your head at that moment?
What happened? What was that? Who did that? I ain't never seen. Oh, Lord, you saw it jump back. I didn't know what was going on because I did not recognize the chicken to be like mauled and mangled like that. It definitely it died twice. Like that's what it looked like. It startled me. I was startled. I was startled. And neither of us were saying anything. Like that was real. Like they didn't dub that to make it seem like it was longer. Like we both were very much silent. And honestly, that's where Taylor should have stepped up to be like, I didn't take the breast off properly, or I'm the one that carved the bird, chef. But she ain't say nothing. And you hear me say that I took the wing off, and I did. But she doesn't say anything, I think, until the souffle challenge. Oh, no, until we're in front of Chef Ramsay.
Wait, but before you start cooking it, though, are you talking about, Frank, are you talking about when it was, the way it was, broken apart as a raw chicken?
Yes.
Yeah. So step us back to that, because, there's an art and a science to that, too, and I sure don't have it down. But what was that, you were the one who actually, broke down the raw chicken, right?
I did not, actually. No, I did not. Taylor took off both of the breasts or did the best that she could. I took the wing off for chicken stock, and you see what you see.
Okay.
Ooh, let me sip my tea.
I feel at that moment when Gordon comes out and starts criticizing you, and he's holding up this chicken that's just been mangled to heck. Do you feel like this time are you in your head thinking, we'll finish a dish, but by no means are we safe. We are not going upstairs? Or do you still feel at that moment we can pull out of this, we can still get upstairs?
No, I feel like you have to, I'm not going to talk for anyone else but me. Even when it looks really, really bad, it's just the type of person and competitor that I am. I still feel like you have to try and find the saving grace until the clock literally says 0-0. You know what I mean? I feel like you have to keep going and trying to motivate your teammate. And I feel like we did the best that we could. Silence is golden, I guess, in terms of motivation. But we stayed together until the dish was done. And then that's when you see us just split up, because it's like a one-woman show after that. It's fight for survival, I think, is what was happening afterwards. But I feel like you just have to, I wanted to keep going to sort of salvage something, Frank. I'm just Ashley. I'm trying to, we really, even though we split up after the dish was done, while we were cooking, we're still trying to together salvage any part that we could. The carrot puree was a bust, and she did what she could to shave up some carrots so we at least had it on the dish. Same thing with the bacon, bust. And it's just a lot went wrong, but we tried to salvage as much as possible, and it still didn't work. But we tried.
You're talking about the whole situation in a way that's very sort of friendly. If it were me, I feel like I would be kind of pissed. Like she kind of threw, as you're saying, like didn't really step up to the plate or take any ownership of the things that went wrong. Did that soil your relationship with her that we're maybe not seeing on camera? Or is there some weirdness now between you two? Or
Oh, of course. I mean, of course, you're not going to throw me under the bus as my teammate and then think I will ever allow you to cross me again. You know what I mean? Like,
okay, there it is. That was not in the episode.
that is never going to happen. And I just feel like when I'm up there and I'm in front of the judges, I'm going to do my best to be professional and to keep it 100 with them so I don't, start acting all crazy or anything like that. Or just come off as combative. I think my whole thing so far has been like, don't come off as combative. And I don't know, I feel like this is the episode where it was just like, oh, really? Oh, okay. But, you did this. And it just got to that point. Once you try and throw me under the bus, it's just going to happen where I'm going to defend myself. So, oh yeah, no, she'll never cross me again.
When you're bringing up a plate to be evaluated and get feedback from the judges, which judges make you most anxious? And is there a judge that you're like, I'm never going to get anxious when this judge is giving me feedback?
Oh, I feel like I don't think that. I think I'm most anxious when Gordon is eating my food and giving me feedback. I have his pen. I represent him. I want to do well. I want to impress him. Literally, I walk into the kitchen thinking that that is a part of my goal for every week is to impress my mentor and show him what I can do. And I am most anxious I'm eager. I'm most eager when he is trying my food, for good or for bad. I want to hear what he has to say because Gordon, Chef Aaron, and Joe really do not, they don't have to be there. You know what I mean? They don't have to spend their time and their resources and their palates trying to improve home cooks, even if we are the top in the country. So I look forward to it. Even when I do mess up, I look forward to it because it is a blessing. It's so unique. I get to say Gordon Ramsay, my mentor, tries my food. So it's just every week, good and bad, I will take it because
it's an amazing outlook. Yeah.
It's such an exclusive opportunity, and it comes with the territory. Ashley, it comes with the territory. You're just not going to do well every week, and I've learned that too.
Well, so they make the decisions. They send some people safe up to the upper deck, and the rest of you have to do the pressure test, and that is to make a cheese souffle.
Which is the most the word souffle alone strikes fear into my bones in my body. That is.
So, Ashley, I have a question for you because we do hear Taylor say over that I've never made a cheese souffle before.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I would think, and if this is correct, that if I were I was going to be on a cooking show, MasterChef, whatever that would be, I would try to cook things that I know I've never done before or that I'm incredibly weak at, just to shore myself up for when I'm actually on the show. Is that a reasonable way to look at it, or that's a great goal to have, but you may not have a chance to actually do that?
I feel like it's reasonable. I'm 1,000% with you. It is absolutely reasonable to think you should practice some of the more frightening foods. And I feel like, I don't know if it made it during, was it the wedding or banana cream? Oh, with the whipped cream fiasco.
Oh yeah, the whipped cream fiasco.
Gordon he was really upset to hear any contestant coming onto his show, his empire, and you haven't made some of these iconic things. I mean, it's whipped cream, but souffle, cream puffs is another classic one. I feel like you should, have to practice at least before coming on the show.
What are some other good ones that you should practice so that I feel like Frank is secretly preparing to audition, and because he's always like, what else should you know?
That's right.
So what are some things he should know here? We've got souffle.
Cream puffs, cream puffs. is basically the batter for the churros. You just
Churros.
fry it. You just fry it instead of actually bake it. So people would have had a leg up there. Oh goodness. I feel like you should practice macaroons. I feel like you should practice.
See, Ashley, you were naming all baking things. I'm just gonna say
Oh
it.
my gosh.
I'm just
Well,
saying it.
Those typically are the toughest, and which is why they give you a souffle to like invoke fear in you, you know, because they want to see if you can do both. If you have to do something savory, oh gosh, breaking down or fabricating a chicken would be one of them. Everyone should have practiced that. What else would I say? Making a roux would be another one, just flour and butter. Like, you know, certain techniques, they want you to be able to talk about food in a really knowledgeable way. And I think, Ashley, that's why you like Emily, because I think that's why, because she can talk about the food and the terms in a way that impresses you. So you know, you want to come with that oomph, like you know what you're talking about. And yeah.
She impressed me from day one because she said she was going to make her own, and I can't remember what it is. I always say it's like she's going to stuff her own sausage or something. She did something crazy that I was like, what? On day one, I'm like, girl is not playing.
Oh, well then, Ashley, for you, when they say, all right, you're going to make a cheese souffle, how are you reacting? You feel like, since you've had a baking background, were you kind of like, I've got this?
It wasn't even the baking background. It's the fact that I lived a year in France. So I feel like that was like, like you don't know this is a gift, but it's a gift. And, you know, I was like, girl, hone in on those memories, living with your host mother and talking to her about food and talking to her about different techniques and just channel it. You know, when we can cook from a place of memory or love or just a soulfulness, you pretty much calm down. So I was really calm going into making the souffle. Now, when you're waiting for that damn souffle to rise, that's a whole nother story.
Well, I got to mention the pressure for that is because when Taylor is going under the 11-minute mark and she hasn't put anything in the oven yet, and you've got the judges all the way across the way yelling at her, that's got to be a stressful situation for anybody.
I thought she was going to get her comeuppance right then and there. I'm like, this is what you get for not you know, owning up to what happened on your part of that, because I felt like she was throwing in the best. But then I guess it all worked out.
Yeah.
I feel like it was just so interesting the way the first 30 minutes looked like I did everything wrong. But then I don't see how someone who does everything wrong just like, you know, is so calm about a souffle. So it's just, we're going to have our moments where it seems uncanny that this person is messing up or this person is flustered, and it's just going to happen. It's the nature of us signing up to be a part of this incredible journey. And, you know, hey, Taylor, she got that souffle up there.
She did.
She did.
Well, now they did say
got it up there, and it was. Yeah.
It was fine, yeah. It was enough to get her upstairs.
And it was up there.
It was up there.
We'll say that.
Because the judges do say, you know what, you can make 3 as a smart routine.
Yeah.
And then that way, if something falls or something doesn't quite rise, then you still got a backup. So I'm going to give you a moment to brag, Ashley. Did you make 3? And of the 3, were all 3 exceptional? You could have taken any of those up?
I did make 3. Yeah. They probably can't see me dancing. I did make 3, and I was super proud of that because I told Chef, you know, I've made one before and I've eaten a whole bunch of them, but I was happy that all 3 of them rose. But there was one I was like, oh no, child, I cannot take that up there. Because it had already deflated. And I was like, oh, that's not the winner. That's not gonna, you know, help me get to the balcony at all. So out of the 3, which is the trickiest part about souffles, I had 2 pretty ones, like really pretty ones that I was proud of. I didn't mind. I would have served either one of them. But the one I had, I was like, yes, let's just do this. Let's go up there.
I feel the tensest part of that whole process is walking it up to the front and just making sure you don't set it down too hard or anything just to make that thing deflate.
Yeah.
You don't want to fall. Those are like the most intense steps of your life. You're just like, count these steps. Yes. Like focus, get it up there and get it to the table. We almost had a little conundrum with Jerron. I was like, no, Jerron,
Oh, I know. Oh.
stay behind or something. Don't, oh my gosh. Or people move out of the way. Like, this is super intense. So you want to make sure that it is like the most pristine placement when you are in front of the judges.
Well, Ashley, as we're getting closer to wrapping up, I just want to ask you, the journey's not over for you yet on MasterChef, but just so far on the show, how have you grown as a home cook from when you first started to where you're at currently in the competition?
Oh my gosh. I am taking in all of these different personalities for sure. And I feel like I came in really just thinking about myself as a student, and which was like a very individual mindset. And, you really have to almost lean on your teammates at certain points. So I feel like going through the competition, team challenges so far have really they're starting to mold me, I would say. The next episode is a team challenge, and you'll really, I think, see how I've grown from the wedding challenge, which is a positive moment. And, oh man, I'm trying to think of like mystery boxes. I think, okay, let me tell y'all. Having to think on your feet so quickly and conceptualize a dish is, I would say, one of the key components of how I'm growing in the show, because that's just not something you necessarily have to do at home. And being forced to think on your feet like that is so awkward in the it's so awkward in the beginning, and you really have to have those growing pains to conceptualize a dish so quickly. So that, I would say, those are a couple of things, just learning to mesh with your team, conceptualizing a dish, and you'll see from the wedding challenge how I grow. So I'm excited about that. That's a good one.
I would imagine, Ashley, that after going through that experience, you want to take it home with you. So do you just go to the local supermarket and just give yourself 5 minutes to grab your ingredients, and then you've got to leave, and then give yourself 45 minutes at home to cook it, and that's it?
Honestly, it's so funny. I will have my parents put together a quick little mystery box of something, and then try and make something for them. So it's been fun that way, because they get to laugh at me being real crazy back home. But yeah, it is I want that just need for speed again. So yeah, y'all should try it. Maybe that's the next thing, because Lim was supposed to cook. I remember this.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Watching.
Yeah. Trust me, we remember too.
Our bellies are
waiting.
So I think y'all should give him a mystery ingredient or something.
I like it. In fact, we should give him a tough one.
That's right. Actually, one last question I want to ask you. Have you ever tried orange zested potatoes?
Oh, jeez.
And would you? If somebody made it for you, would you eat it?
Clearly, I have not tried this. And I'm just going to say, you are so brave, Ashley, for making them.
Thank you.
And for Lim having to try them. And, big ups to Junie, because y'all said y'all liked them, or,
They
with some
weren't
shrimp,
that bad.
What a great compliment. They weren't that bad.
I have one question too for you, Ashley. Are you still grocery shopping for people?
I am. And I love it. And oh my gosh, I love what I do. Oh, okay. So I saw that y'all name drop a company, and I just would like to go on record that I do not work for that company.
We didn't. Which company did we name drop? Maybe
one of them, grocery delivery services.
Yeah. No, not that company.
Okay.
So you're a personal grocery shopper for personal clients, one-on-one.
For client, I would say client. I did have to interview for the job, so it is a company that we get paired. We get paired with our clients, but it's so involved, and I love my job. I have to know all the trends of the grocery market, the grocery store, and get close with the butcher, and Oh my gosh, the fish market side and everything. So the seafood side. So I love it. I love it. I love it.
That's such a cool gig. I love to be in the grocery store and look at other people's carts. So I would just and I'm kind of creepy about it too. I don't mean to be, but I'm always
that sounds
like,
pleasant.
I just want to know what other people are eating because it's got to be a little bit inspirational to like have other people give you this list and you're like, oh, I wonder what they're making. What are they doing with those ingredients? Like in my head, I'm putting together a meal. So I just think it would be so cool to see other people do other people's.
That's what when I go to the grocery store. I like creepy encounters. So that's
yes,
great. Gets me excited.
Brought to you by
Ashley.
yours truly.
So Ashley, as we're wrapping up with you, if people want to keep up to date in what you're doing, whether it be on MasterChef or what you're doing for professionally at home back in the 305, where can they find you?
Okay, so on IG, on Twitter, and on Facebook, I am under Envie, ENVIE by Mincey. And I'm sure it'll be up on the screen somewhere, but ENVIE BYMINCEY, Envie by Mincey.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also a blog, so like keep up with that. And again, IG, Twitter, Facebook, and it's a blog, so it's a website. Just hook up with me. Like, let's do it. Let's link up. Let's talk about food. Let's talk about the show. It's all positive. It's all love. And I just thank y'all so much for having me on.
Pleasure is all ours, Ashley.
Thanks for chatting with us.
And go recommend to your clients those orange zested potatoes.
Yeah.
That's the latest trend.
They're
really?
just not that bad.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's give it up for Ashley Mincey. Yay!
We'll be watching
Have
you.
a great night, 305.
Bye.
Bye, Ashley. Oh, she's so cute.
Look at that.
It's got to be the name, you know?
That's right.
Ashley's, we're all cute.
Yeah, certainly. That's just part of the part and parcel. If you're going to name somebody Ashley, you've
know what
given
you're
them a future of just awesomeness.
Awesomeness.
That's right.
All around.
There you
I
go.
Agree. Couldn't agree more.
Well, as we get ready to wrap up, we probably should just do a little rapid fire predictions. What we think?
Yes.
Your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Will you start?
You know what? I was excited about Caesar coming in the beginning of the season.
Yeah.
But man, he really stumbled hard this one, and he gave himself that pep talk at the end of the episode. It's like, I got to make sure I'm bringing my A game. That's why I tell my students, I'd like to see him do better, but I worry that he's more on a downward slope.
Okay. So I didn't want to give this prediction because I've been really holding out for him to impress us with his soul food, but I do not have high hopes for Jerron. I think that Jerron has I think he maybe has the best of intentions, but I think that time and time again he has shown he doesn't quite know how to execute technically in the kitchen. So he's on my list.
Well, and I got to feel to give one for Lem, I think he should start getting scared about Taylor.
Oh yeah, and if he were here, I would be giving him crap for just that.
Yeah, it's. I mean, she had a little blip of success during the wedding.
She did.
After this last episode,
and there's it's also just beyond just the technical stuff. There's some sort of emotional strings that are starting to pull that we've seen now a couple of times. It's just the not taking ownership of some of her own stuff and getting really flustered and frazzled. She went into that souffle thing, and I thought it was done for her.
Yeah. I can imagine when this is her third time trying to make it onto the show, and you finally made it. I'm sure she's putting an extraordinary amount of pressure on herself.
Exactly.
And when things start crumbling, she just doesn't know how to quite handle it.
Yeah, she might. It sounds like Miss Ashley could be sticking around for a little bit longer.
Look
However,
at her.
she kind of let some things slip in her. Some of the way she was talking, she's like counting back. Wait a second, so we're at week 15. I'm like, how many weeks do you have to count back, girl?
Look at that. Ashley's realizing those production ticks.
Digging deep.
That's
Digging
right.
deep.
Ladies and gentlemen, the time flies when you're talking to a cool Ashley, and not just one.
does.
We had double the Ashleys this week, so double the awesomeness.
Oh, you're good at this, Frank.
Oh, please tell your friends. But ladies and gentlemen, thanks for watching the MasterChef After Show. As always, like us on Facebook, give us those 5 stars on iTunes, subscribe to the YouTube channel. When you do that, it'll give you all these great notifications for other great AfterBuzz content, because we make after shows for every show under the sun.
Every show you can possibly
We're catering
imagine.
to you. We're the ESPN of TV talk, and that's why we do it for you fans. So give us a little help and give us a subscribe and a thumbs up on one of those. Don't worry about the notifications; they're optional. We'll take care of that. But folks, if you want to stay in touch with any of us, even after the show's over, Ashley, where can they find you?
I was going to do a touchdown reference, and then I realized it wouldn't make sense. ESPN touchdown. This is touchdown, right?
That is-
Guys, if you want to talk to me about anything but sports, because I definitely don't know what I'm talking about, but particularly food and what you're watching on Netflix, find me online at Ashley on Camera, and let's talk there.
As always, the man who, we couldn't do the show without, and yet we did.
We did.
Tonight, Lem Gonzalez, not here with us on assignment, but follow him all day, every day at The Poet Saint. There you go. So do that for all those great updates there. But follow me on Twitter and Instagram at HappyGoJackie for any sort of, social media nonsense that I'll come up with. Who knows? Ladies and gentlemen, it's been another awesome episode of the MasterChef After Show. It's going to be up to Ashley and Lem for the next couple weeks to carry the torch without me. I'm so sorry. But I'll be back in 3 weeks to join the rest of the panel right here on the MasterChef After Show, right here on AfterBuzz TV.
See you next time.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.